We are back and we are diving into the last two phases of the design thinking process we're looking at. So in these two phases, what we're doing is we're taking our solution out into the real world. We do this because we want to learn more about the user and we want to learn more about the solution. So before we build anything big, we want to prototype and we want to test it, okay? So when you're building your prototype, this is really important. Assumptions kill new products. Not only assumptions, we could call them untested assumptions will kill new products. So whatever you're building, identify which are the assumptions and go test it. Yes, so in the case of Novice, a huge assumption is that if we go give entrepreneurship education to people in the communities, then they will actually be able to go ahead and start a business. Huge assumption, right? If that doesn't stand, there's no process, no NGO, no technology that can work. So that's the first thing we have to go test. That's why we're running the prototype. So first that you have to do is go identify your assumptions over which your solution is based on. Some are very big and will break it, and some are smaller and you can pivot a little bit, change a little bit, move around. So make a list of your assumptions and choose the biggest one to test. Identify your biggest assumption so that we can test it. There, untested assumptions will kill new products. So prototyping, as I mentioned, really important is that your solution is based off your assumptions. Some you are aware of, some you are not. And I would really like for you to design your prototype. It will be hard to actually go and build your prototype, at least in the next few weeks. But at least I want you to have in mind the process of how can we design a prototype. So as I mentioned before, once you have your assumptions, you can turn them into hypotheses. So by now you have a list of assumptions. What you're going to do with that is you will turn them into hypotheses. Once you have the hypothesis, you go test that hypothesis and you learn by doing. The reason we're prototyping is because we want to learn. It's not because we want to see if it works. It's not just that. We want to learn from the user's interactions. So you can have more conversations with your users while you're doing the prototype. So this is extremely important. This is a process that never ends, by the way, okay? So you're prototyping and then you're gonna test, which can be a more of a refined product or a minimum viable product, which is a testing phase. And you keep doing this over and over, okay? So before you go out there and launch something too big, go back and see how can I build a smaller version of this and prototype it. Now the prototype doesn't have to be all of the process or the whole, or just a smaller version of your feature of your product. It can be just an aspect of your product, or it can be just like a tiny component of it that if it doesn't work, the whole solution falls apart. If you look at the video that we'll send with this video, so the Google Glass video, they are not testing the whole component, yes? So the first thing they tested is, how does it look like to overlay information in my line of sight? That's all they were interested about, yeah? So that's called rapid prototyping. So you want to prototype rapidly without a lot of materials, without complexity. Go figure out what's the fastest way that you can do it and go do it and test it and learn.